Some people hear good night and they sleep peacefully. And some people, they get a text saying good night and immediately think, why was there no emoji? That is attachment showing up.
Dun, dun, dun.
But what is attachment?
So, attachment, it's basically how people emotionally, connect to others. That's why it affects how we act in friendships, relationships.
Or even arguments.
I'm just doing like a boxing movement right here for argument. And
yes, it's the reason some people get attached quickly while others act like emotions are a group project
that they refuse
to participate in. Why are we finishing each other's sentences?
Because we're so
attached.
We're so attached.
We're so attached
that we're so in sync.
God, yeah.
And why are we talking about this now?
Because we're the Unplanted Wallflowers.
Adding sparkly sounds. Ding, 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 ding. And we're here to talk about all things
psychology.
Let's go.
Okay.
So,
where does attachment come from?
If you tell me, I will give you a Snickers bar. Actually,
last time it was Kit Kat.
This time it's Snickers. We're changing it up every episode, guys. But joke's on you, I'm going to get that Snickers for myself because attachment starts when we're little kids. Yeah, our brains. So when we're kids, we learn relationships through how our parents or grandparents or any kind of caregiver gave us, right? And it's sort of like a tutorial level for future
relationships.
It's
Oh my God. So if a child grows up with comfort or emotional support, they may feel safer with people later on. But if things were unpredictable, when they are a child, or emotionally distant or confusing, then they may struggle to trust or be close with people.
Yeah, so now we're just gonna give you some knowledge that we have learned,
in our degree
program, which is
God, this is where we mention BSc honors in psychology at Althea.
Let's go, Althea. So
there are 4 attachment styles, and we're gonna run through each of them.
Style,
So the first one we have is secure attachment.
So secure attachment is where securely attached people are usually comfortable with things like love, trust and communication. So they don't like panic every 5 seconds over like the tiniest itty bitty thing, like oh my God.
Yeah, so I mean, don't diagnose people with attachment styles like just because we said it. These are just theoretical stuff
that we've learned along the way.
Yeah, so common behaviors of people with secure attachment styles is that they communicate directly, they're comfortable with closeness, and they don't explode or delayed replies, and they can handle conflict normally.
Yeah, and I'm sure you've seen people like this in your day-to-day life, right?
I feel like it's kind of rare. I've never met a securely attached people. I'm not gonna lie.
You know what? Now that you mention it, neither have I.
No, like who out here says, hey, so that upsets me. Can we talk about it? Like, I've never really heard that coming from anyone.
Unless, of course, you are the most arrogant. Now, unfortunately, sometimes being secure also translates to you being arrogant. Because you are going to be like, oh, that really hurt me. And then they'll be like, oh, why? What's wrong with you? Like, can you chill, please?
So the next attachment style we have is anxious attachment, which is basically people who say, please, do not leave me ever. Thanks.
That's kind of how I am with Mahira. Okay, like look, we are like this. This meaning, when you intertwine your fingers, you're like, I'm like this. Yeah, it's like that. Okay, it's you.
So people who have anxious attachment are people who often fear rejection or abandonment.
And
Samini over here.
Thanks, Ma. I'm telling her that I have attachment issues to her, and now she's like Samini over here. It's like basically
I'm still trying to figure out what my attachment style is.
Well, to her it's anxious, I guess.
But yeah, I am very much attached to Savini.
Yeah,
that I know for sure. Maybe my attachment style is Savini attachment,
and mine is Mahira attachment. Guys, we found new attachment styles.
The 5th and 6th attachment. Okay, moving on.
It's like, okay, so attachment, like anxious attachment, right? It's like when our brains are constantly trying to detect that something is wrong. Like, let's say overthinking texts, right? Like, okay, look, I do that a lot, let's say someone sends something and I'm like, oh, okay, this doesn't sound right, but at the same time, maybe it's okay, maybe they're just tired, maybe they're not that tired, it's like that.
It's like overcomplicating a text that you should not really overcomplicate.
Yeah, it's like saying okay, and then people are like, oh my god, is this person mad at me? Or maybe it's just like a chill okay. Right? Oh my god.
But hey, at least we figured out what our dad's texts mean.
Yeah, exactly.
Just the okay and the thumbs up.
Thumbs up.
We know what that means.
Exactly. Or needing reassurance. Now, I think a lot of people do this in, I guess, relationships especially.
Yeah.
Yeah. Or,
feeling ignored very easily.
Yeah.
I have that feeling. Like, I hate being ignored. It's not like I want attention either. It's just that I don't like to be, ignored.
That's why I never ignore her.
Yeah.
Or even panicking over small changes in energy. So it's very much like the tech situation.
Yeah.
Right?
Or like even socially, when someone is like off or like their mood is different, their vibe is different, that's when you panic over those things. You're like, oh no, did I do something wrong? Is it because of me? Like, yeah, that could happen.
But with a big but, okay, you need to realize that they are not crazy. Okay, they're not dramatic. Look, it's a very natural response to be like, oh my god, she's just being dramatic, or he's just like a crazy lunatic.
Yeah.
Right? But it's most probably because their brain maybe learned that relationship.
Like a learned thing.
Yeah, because maybe they had like a very unstable or very unpredictable situation back then, which has led them up to this point. Or maybe look, not all people, okay?
Yeah.
Some. It's like where you say all thumbs are fingers, but not all fingers are thumbs.
Yeah, so once again, these are not like specific criteria to know what attachment style you have.
Yeah.
So, yes, moving on to the next attachment style, avoidant attachment.
Whoa.
Which is basically when people avoid emotions as a whole. Like, these kind of people, they often struggle with too much of closeness or vulnerability. Yeah. They're like, the nonchalant people out there.
Yeah, so they're like, emotions, no thank you.
So the common behaviors that avoidant attachment people usually have is like pulling away emotionally.
Yeah, or like avoiding, those deep conversations that you like to have with your friends.
Yeah, or they act too independent.
Like, you are not Mariah Carey. Okay, you cannot be Miss Independent. I think that's the song.
Yeah, and when there's like conflict in relationships or friendships, they shut you down.
Like, please don't do that. Like if someone says, can we talk about our feelings here, can we talk about the situation here, they're like, oh, you know what, actually I have a thing to do at home. No, you don't. Right. Okay, I mean
this is valid. Okay, this is completely valid. We are not throwing shade to avoidant attachment people out there. It's completely valid. But these are things that avoidant attachment people do.
Yeah. I mean, look, they do have feelings. It's just they don't really know how to express them.
Yeah, they don't feel safe expressing them openly, which totally makes sense. I completely understand that whole thing.
Yeah. And then we have the final one,
disorganized attachment.
So, it's when people like want that closeness,
and at the same time they don't want.
Yeah, exactly. It's like Chandler.
Come here. Oh, no, go away. No, wait, come back. That's what disorganized attachment is.
So as you sort of heard from that example, it's mixed signals, right? Like, do you want me?
It's like push-pull behavior.
Yeah. It's like emotion. It's like an emotional
confusion.
Okay.
That was confusing.
Or like, or like, oh my god, let's say you got really close with that friend or whoever, and suddenly you're like, get the hell away from me.
Yeah.
It's like your brain is just buffering.
Yeah, and at the same time, like, you are probably missing someone so badly, but then you don't either text or call, or even when they text or call you, you ignore them.
Yeah.
So yeah, like Savini said, it's your brain buffering.
Exactly. And again, this happens in real life, right? So for example, in friendships, you feel left out like super easily.
Yeah.
Or
like your friend could take 4 hours to reply, and suddenly you think they found a better friend.
But no, trust me, we haven't. I still love her very much.
This is not just disorganized attachment, by the way. This is like attachment as a whole.
As a whole, yeah. You become way too emotionally dependent on your friends, right? Or you're scared that your friends like secretly hate you. Like that's such a common thing that I've heard like very often. Or
you avoid emotional vulnerability completely. Like like, this happens. I completely understand that. Okay, you don't have to feel ashamed of feeling that way. These are normal things.
Very normal. And
in relationships we have anxious people, we have avoidant people,
and we have the problem. Okay, so in terms of like anxious people, what do they want? Reassurance. What do they need? Emotional consistency. And what do they fear?
Abandonment.
I felt like a cheerleader, guys.
Oh my God. So that's what anxious people are in relationships.
And like avoidant people, they need space. Okay, then go to space. Okay, don't stay here. Or they get so overwhelmed
by emotional intensity.
Yeah, the fire is way too much.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Or they pull away when things get serious.
And finally there is the problem. There's
one person is chasing, the other person is running, both are stressed, and nobody's drinking water.
It's very much like a Tom and Jerry situation.
Yeah.
I don't know what Tom and Jerry were, but it's very much Tom and Jerry.
Yeah.
And then
in social media.
Oh, social media.
So they make attachment issues louder.
Like way louder. Why do they obsess? Because they start obsessing, right? Over like
the blue ticks
on WhatsApp. Oh my God,
the views on your stories.
Yeah, or like
times of the replies.
Yeah, or like comments and so.
It's like so, who liked whose post and stuff.
It's kind of crazy because like it's like psychological warfare.
I know.
It's like, oh my God, they were active 2 minutes ago,
but they didn't reply to me.
Like queen, like reserve your time.
Exactly. Now, we shall move on to one question that we have. Can attachment styles change?
Yes, they can.
Because obviously attachment styles are not like your zodiac signs. They're not your birthdays.
Yeah, they're not like
permanent identities.
Yeah, because they can become more secure through maybe a healthy relationship,
or even self-awareness,
therapy,
or communication,
or emotional growth. But because healing, it means that learning that relationships can feel very safe
instead of stressful.
Yeah.
So
but
now you know that attachment styles can change. But now we are gonna cover the common misconceptions.
Oh no. A very common one is that anxious people are toxic.
No, they're not. They're not toxic. None of these attachment styles are toxic.
Yeah.
Okay. If you think they're toxic, you are toxic.
Clock that T.
Right. So they usually fear losing people. So there's nothing toxic about that. And then people think that avoidant people don't care.
No.
Wrong. Many care deeply, but they struggle with vulnerability.
Yeah.
You can't just be like, oh, okay, that person's nonchalant. They don't really care about stuff. No, you can't say that.
Yeah. And another one would be that secure people, they never ever struggle. Wrong. Because it's just that they like manage their emotions in a much healthier way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There is some struggle in that, but you can't just say that they don't struggle.
Anywho, now to get into it a bit more into the the nitty gritty, we have a guest speaker. Woohoo!
Woohoo!
With us we have lecturer and alumni Miss Vatsala Ranwala. Hi, ma'am.
Hi.
Oh, she's shy. Okay, so we're gonna ask you like a series of questions that will just help our listeners understand just a bit more about attachment
from another perspective.
Exactly. You want to kick it off, Myra?
Yeah, sure. So, how do you tell the difference between an attachment issue and just plain bad communication?
Okay, so when we understand issue, at least in psych, right? In psychology, we try to understand issues in terms of things that harm you and harm other people, things that disrupt our general functioning, right? So that's about, if we talk about attachment issues, we talk about attachment that would inevitably harm you and or the people around you. And then if you talk bad communication, that can do the sort of same thing, right? It can harm you and also harm other people. But maybe I wouldn't go as far as to call it an issue, because communication can be bad depending on the situation also. But if you come back to, now the question you asked me was how to differentiate against those two?
Yeah.
Alright, so I'd say I'm not exactly sure on how to put them on two different scales, but I definitely talk about them being very interlinked, because bad communication can affect your attachment to someone. For example, if you're not communicating well with someone about how you feel, your attachment may or may not be affected accordingly, is how I understand the situation, right? So rather than looking at them as two different contexts and trying to differentiate them, I'd rather go on the lens of talking about how they can be so interlinked together. Communicating well can probably affect your attachment styles or attachment in a good way, and bad communication may lead to kind of bad things in terms of your attachment as well. Does that answer the question?
Yes, it does.
Wow.
That was
Right.
a very structured answer.
Yeah, it's totally not like I went through the questions before.
Okay. So the next question: can you accurately guess someone's attachment style from their text messages?
No, definitely not. You should probably not be doing that at any point.
I agree.
Really? Why
I
would
was
you?
just joking.
Alright. No, because on one sense, text messages are so like vulnerable to so many other factors, depending on how you feel at the moment, depending who you're texting, whether people are around you when you text, that itself can change the text message. And also, we are so many different people when we text so many different people, right? There's no one true way of texting. And then to find the attachment style, again, are you 100% yourself when you text?
Exactly.
I don't.
Trying
I
to
mean,
think sorry.
there's like a different personality between the way you text and the way you behave in real life as well.
Yeah.
Exactly, right? So when we talk about attachment, we talk about it regarding, how you feel and how you feel towards a person and so on and so forth. Whereas texting, you could be doing a whole different thing, which could also align with your topic of last week or one of the previous weeks, right? As far as I'm concerned. So when you text, you could be a whole different person as opposed to how you actually feel. So no, you must definitely not be trying to understand or psychoanalyze text messages without good knowledge.
I will keep that in mind the next time I decide to overthink about a message. Does she like me? Is she mad at me? This is how I feel when I read her messages.
Okay, so yes, moving on to the next question. What can fictional characters teach us about attachment styles and relationship patterns?
Okay, so when I thought about this question, I really had no idea on how to go about this. So I actually did do a quick Google on different characters, and interestingly, a lot of search results came up on Finding Nemo, the father Marlin in Finding Nemo. Interesting fact, my brother's name is also Marlin. That's so interesting. Anyways, we had Bella from Twilight, and we had a bunch of other characters. Sorry, what?
Oh, I said I have the skin of a killer, Bella.
Did you all actually watch Twilight?
Yes.
I did not.
Dang.
Bella, where you been, loca?
Interesting. How about Finding Nemo? Have you ever watched Finding
Yes.
Nemo?
I hate it.
I watched it like 2 weeks ago and cried to it.
Oh no, two opposite ends of the spectrum. So a lot of search results came up, and I guess true to how I understand the world, my answer would be media really exaggerates these things. For example, if you find fictional characters, you would even have like in TV shows like doctors who play psychologists, diagnosing them, giving them attachment styles, so on and so forth. But then there's again a question of, is that truly a good depiction? So I feel like I'm being very pessimistic with all of these questions, but I'd say while there's a lot of answers and there's a lot of characters that can fit into different molds that we call attachment styles, it's probably not the best to base it off media, because media can be very exaggerated. And also attachment styles, right? There's so much to understand about them. Can we really understand a character and fit them to a specific attachment style? So I leave us at that point.
Wow. I will never watch a film with her ever again.
Oh my god. What do you mean again? You haven't watched movies with me.
They don't have to know. Well, now you guys know. Whatever. Okay, and then we have the last question. What are some behaviors people mistake for romance that are actually emotionally unhealthy?
Oh, heavy question. But also an important question, I think, to a lot of our listeners. I think this goes back to my answer of question number 1, where I said things that harm you and harm people around you are probably not good things to keep in your life, right? So even in romantic relationships, if certain things in your relationship, I say certain things in the relationship, not just to put it on the partner, but to also emphasize the two-way aspect of the relationship. If certain things in your relationship are causing you harm, physical, emotional, social harm, those are probably some things you might need to reevaluate. I'm not straight out cutting it out by saying, you need to cut them off your life, but you might want to reevaluate how those things are and how if those things are good to keep in your life. Like for example, right, since we're on the topic of attachment styles, some people romanticize partners who are very, very constantly in contact with you. But what if that hinders you from living your life, from your functioning? What if that hinders you from going to work, functioning well at work, functioning well in your university, because your partner is consistently wanting contact with you? Then maybe that's something you might want to reevaluate, maybe communicate with them. Again, going back to question number 1, where you might want to communicate, you might want to talk about how you want to navigate those things. So each to their own. If you're happy with how things are in your relationship, then so be it. But if you feel like it's causing you harm, again, harm does not need to be physical harm, but harm that is emotional, harm that is social, harm that in the sense that it harms your emotional state, or if it harms your friendships. For example, if a partner is like, don't talk to your friends, that would harm your social circle, right? That's what I mean, social harm. Again, those things would be things you might want to reevaluate. Unless you're completely fine with it, then each to your own, I guess.
Wow. But I do have like a follow-up. What about those people who like romanticize like the negative styles of attachment? Like the whole...
I can fix him.
Yeah, what kind of, like that kind of mentality, like how would you...
I would say it's a risky game to play, especially the I can fix him attitude. I can fix her is also an attitude of its own also. I think it's a bit of a risky attitude regardless, because can you really fix someone or help someone? You can help someone, definitely. You can support them, you can assist them, but can you actually change who they are? Is something you might want to think about. And again, this is a bit of a grey area, because I guess some people might just like certain bad traits of people, and I don't know if it's my place to say it's bad. But again, it comes down to the line of, if those things would harm you or other people, you might want to rethink it. Not to actually cut it off, but just to think about the worth of it, if that makes sense.
So basically, moral of the story, they are not Humpty Dumpty. They cannot be put back together again, even if you wanted them to. You are not all the king's horses and all the king's men.
What happens to Humpty Dumpty?
He gets put back together again.
No, he cracks, right?
Does he not fall off the wall? And
the crack is never mentioned in the rhyme. He just falls.
Humpty Dumpty sat on a wall. Humpty Dumpty had a great fall. All the king's horses and all the king's men couldn't put Humpty together again.
So they didn't talk about what actually happened to him. Huh?
No, he got eaten. I'm just kidding.
No,
let's not give nightmares to kids. Yeah.
Well, thank you for being here, Miss.
Thank you so much. These are very insightful answers that our listeners could gain.
Thank you for having me. It was very nice being with you all in this short time. Bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye.